What's up, world? It's your girl, T Fizzle. Okay, so I want to go ahead and talk about this case. I've been sent this story quite a few times today. And basically what's going on, if you guys have not heard, this really disturbing picture hit the internet yesterday and a lot of people are talking about it. What happened was, there's this case of this Atlanta baseball coach. Basically what happened is that there was a single mother. She was a single mother to a 9-year-old son, and that the coach had befriended them. And the coach basically came to the house. He tried to play the male role model figure. But the little boy told his mother that he didn't feel something wasn't right about the man. The little boy didn't feel comfortable with the coach. But the mother kind of ignored that feeling because the coach ended up coming over a few days later bearing gifts. He had bought them a PlayStation 3. He bought all types of gifts over, candy, balloons. So he asked the mother, was it okay if he gave the boy some private lessons? So the mother said, sure, that's fine. You can go ahead and give him his private lessons. So I guess she went off to go do something, and when she came home, she heard her son crying and sobbing. So she went up to his room to go check on him to see what was wrong, and when she walked in, she saw the coach anally raping her son. So of course, she initially reacted. She ran downstairs to her kitchen, she grabbed a turkey carving knife, and she proceeded to hack him up. She basically carved him like he was a Thanksgiving dinner. And this picture leaked of him, and when I tell y'all, this picture is very graphic, it's very gruesome. She didn't kill him. But when I saw this picture, I honestly thought it was an autopsy. I thought it was a dead body, and somehow they had the body sitting up. I'm like, what the hell? I really thought this was a dead man when I seen this picture. But it wasn't. This man is still alive, and because of this situation with her carving him up like a turkey, the state of Georgia is trying to prosecute her, and she could be looking at 15 years for carving up the man who was raping her son. So a lot of people are in an outrage about this situation. I, for one, am in an outrage. You guys know how I feel about child molesters. This situation is very sad and it's very troubling. You know, people are saying, well, why didn't she just call the police? You know, it's always easy to say what you would and wouldn't do until you're in somebody's shoes. Until you're in that situation, I don't think people should be saying that she should have called the police. Me personally, I think if I had walked in and seen somebody doing something like that to one of my boys, I probably would have did the same thing. He probably wouldn't even be here to this day to testify against me. You feel what I'm saying? There is nothing worse than taking a child's innocence. And just to hear the story and to hear, you know, how he got over on them and how he tried to act like a role model and like he wanted to take the boy under his wing, only to sexually assault him, I think is disgusting. I think the lady should be given a medal for defending her child and protecting her child. Let me also remind you of another case that happened this summer. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to do a video on it. A man in Texas, basically one of his neighbors, they were having a party. So all the neighbors and stuff were over at the house. They're having some type of barbecue. And he couldn't find his 4-year-old daughter. So they went to go look for her, and they heard the little girl screaming. And when they found her in some type of shed or barn, he found the neighbor sexually assaulting his daughter, having sex with his 4-year-old daughter. So he proceeded to beat the neighbor, and he ended up beating the man to death. And what ended up happening in that case is that that father got off scot-free. They didn't even file any charges against him because they looked at it like he was protecting his child. So I don't understand why in this case they're even filing charges against her. You know, but I understand it's a court of law, but they didn't even file any charges against that man. I honestly, okay, y'all want to file charges against her because she committed a crime, she assaulted somebody, that's fine. But I hope those charges get dropped because she does not deserve to be charged for something like that. What he did was a lot more horrendous than what she did. I also want to add one more thing before I end this video. This should be a lesson to a lot of us single moms out there, young moms. Every man, you know, especially if you're raising a boy, every man is not fit to be a role model for your child. If your child tells you they do not feel comfortable with an adult, do not push the issue. Had she listened to her son when her son told her that he didn't feel comfortable with him, he really didn't like him, had she paid closer attention, the whole situation would have been avoided. So I think we need to take this as a lesson. Listen to our children and take their thoughts and feelings into consideration. Just because that person is an adult, just because they're in a power position, just because, you know, they're do-gooders, well-to-do, they're well-liked in the community, doesn't mean anything. Jerry Sandusky was well-liked, and he was fucking every boy that came to his house. You know, so we need to be very aware that people are predators. People will come in the shape of, you know, coaches and priestess and teachers and things like that, and will be thinking the most evil, vile thoughts of your child. So we need to be more aware as parents. So go ahead, leave a comment. I'm going to go ahead and post a link to the picture. It's going to be on my website. I would advise you, if you're under the age of 15, do not look at this picture. It's so disgusting. Ugh, it just gives you nightmares. I wouldn't look at this picture if I was under the age of 15, but y'all gonna do what y'all want to do. The link to the picture is down below. I want you to take a look at this picture and then tell me what you guys would have done in that situation. Do you feel like she took it too far? Do you feel like she should have caught the police? Or do you agree with what she did and you do not feel sorry for that child molester one bit? Because I don't. I can't shed any tears for that. It looks as horrific as it looks. He put himself in that situation. So go ahead, leave a comment. All right. Deuces.